Hey guys, this is KSP with Tape, and today you join me on the launchpad once again for Rescaled Kerbin Project Moon, and now I'm sending a little lander out, just a probe lander, because if I landed on the moon right now the series would be over, but I'm not there yet. So this is a launch vehicle that has taken me a long time to make. You can see that it has four Thor SRBs on it, and it's using 3.5 meter parts. It's KW 3.5 meter parts. I am using stretchy fuel tanks, but the 3.5 meter stretchy fuel tanks are very unstable. So the top tank is a stretchy fuel tank. That was suggested to me by someone. Sorry if you're watching this, I did forget your name. I always forget names, but I did take that into account. Modular fuels was a bit. I might add that in. I'm thinking of using lots of things like modular fuels. But almost said modular fools. I need some fools that can be modular. Anyway, we're already pretty high because this is at 2 times time accelerate, and yeah, and the top is has the same engine format I've been using for a while. The top stage, the top stage has the 3 little engines that I've been using for a while. There goes some explosions. The problem with those explosions are it looks like it's destroyed something important, and it has. It's destroyed these struts that keep that engine attached, because there's this weird bug with KW engines where they'll slip sideways but stay attached, and it's really weird. And now I'm getting a heavy amount of shaking just from SAS, so I just have to keep resetting it. And this was a bad ascent path. I mean, I talked through most of it, but it was a bad ascent path. And we do go into too high an orbit, and I have to actually pull a bit of fuel out of the stage of going to the moon, but it's fine. I am trying to develop very hardcore launch vehicles, but there are various problems with that. It is very hard to get payload to orbit, especially with things that just break, and I am trying to find mods that break less, and I think I'll just stick with KW parts, because if you do use them right, they're fairly stable. But anyway, we have stage and onto the 3 engines. This has a thrust to weight ratio. My voice is gone. It is 12:30 in the morning technically. So I might be a little awful at commentating. Anyway, it has a thrust to weight ratio of about 1.2, and it was suggested to me that more realistic rockets would use a thrust to weight ratio of about 0.4, and it would be more efficient. And I would use something like that. But then I always seem to go past my Apple apps, and that would take a new design of all of my rockets, and it would be difficult. But I am going to look into making my rockets more realistic, because that's kind of what this series is about, trying to be realistic, although I had to give up on it a bit. But this launch vehicle, I could have done this very easily with something like my launch vehicle I've used previously, that's got lots of asparagus staging and uses lots of little boosters. Little liquid fuel boosters, and it makes it very easy to get to orbit. But I've kind of decided that I want it to be at least partially realistic, and you can't really do that in real life because it's very difficult. I mean, the Falcon Heavy, if it lifts a payload that's more than 43 tons, it will use cross-feeding fuel, but only for 2 boosters, and I will use stuff like that. But for now, I'm just going to use lots of solid rocket boosters, because that's slightly more realistic, and I'm thinking of using something like a proton rocket format, which has like 8 solid rocket boosters, and that's a lot of power in the solid fuel. I mean, solid fuel's cheaper, it's less efficient, but it's cheaper and it's powerful, and it's easier just to slap on the side. Anyway, these modular fuel tanks are actually pretty useful for getting the exact delta V you want, which is why I use them for the top stage. I don't like the textures though. This is the one. There are 2 textures which you can change. This one's the better one, but I'm not a massive fan of them. But I don't mind too much. I mean, it's a rocket. It's not looking pretty. It's going to the moon. Yeah, so this stage is about to burn out. So I have to use a little bit of the top stage, but not too much. I mean, if I use 3-stage rockets all the time, it would be fairly easy. But, I mean, considering how much I relied on the boosters, this is basically a 3-stage rocket. And I have no idea. Well, I do have an idea, but it would be incredibly difficult to build something in like a Falcon 9 format with just 1 liquid fuel stage with no boosters, and then 1 top stage, and then just get to space. Get to orbit even, because that's difficult. That's a very impressive feat. The problem is, the engines aren't powerful enough. Because I was trying to build something really tall, like Falcon 9 tall, and the engines just aren't powerful enough, even the most powerful KW engine. So I'll either find a mod for more powerful engines if I need them and if I can't get around it, or I will mod it myself, because I will probably be able to do that to some extent. So you know, that'll be good. And it's not too hard to mod engines on KSP, so you know, that'll be fine. Stay tuned for explosions. Anyway, our descending node's pretty good. It's about 1.5 degrees, and we had a random camera flip, because why not? Yeah, so 1.5 degrees off the moon, so I need to change that, hopefully now. Yep, now, with no editing just then, shut up. I actually just forgot to edit that in, so I've just edited in. So yeah, here is the quick inclination change, the 200 delta V change of about 1.2 degrees, because this is a much bigger planet. This is probably similar to changing your inclination around Joule in the stock game. I'm not really sure how big Joule is relative to Kerbin. Relative to Earth is more important. But anyway, that is basically done. And now we've skipped ahead, no crossfade on my screen annoyingly, that's a shame, to the burn out to the moon, which is, well, we've done this before, so we know how this goes down. Now, there is a reason there was a no crossfade, 1 second. There was no crossfade because my screen stopped. I'm still having to use Windows Movie Maker because I haven't got Lightworks working. That's annoying. So occasionally when it skips from one clip to another clip with a cut in the middle, it just doesn't play the next clip, and it's fun. It's a challenge. It makes it challenging. But anyway, now you get a better look at what I've called the Lunar Lion. Not the Lunar Lion, that's the real one. I've called this the Lunar Zebra because some of you may have heard of the Lunar Lion Project, which is a group of undergrads at Penn State University. Is somewhere in the US. I'm not exactly sure where it is. Probably California, I reckon. Sending a lander to the moon called the Lunar Lion to win the Google Lunar X Prize, which is really cool. You got to go check it out. Just type in Lunar Lion into Google, and hopefully you won't just get lots of funny pictures of lions on the moon. But anyway, this is the Lunar Zebra because I think by the time the Lunar Lion gets out there, it'll want something to chase. And I just took a quick look at the rest of the solar system. Yeah. That's a bit of fun. But yeah, so yeah, the Lunar Lion's going to need something to hunt out there, or it'll get hungry, obviously. Oh, by the way, it is crowdfunded, the Lunar Lion. So if you have like some spare money lying around, really cool way to go. A really cool thing to do. And if you donate over $100, that is quite a bit of money. I don't have $100 to donate to it, but if you do, you can get a plaque with your name written on it, put on the Lunar Lion landed on the moon, so your name will be on the moon. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, and if you've got a spare $1 million lying around, you can send a kilo of cargo out there with it, which is awesome. But anyway, we have almost our Periapoaps has almost reached the moon, and now it has reached the moon. But now we need to bring the Periaps around the moon down a bit because well, that's too high. We need to land, and we don't really want to be going too fast because, well, you don't want to break your lander. Well, my lander. It's my lander. Stay the hell away from my lander. Yeah. Actually, don't try this yourself. It is, if you're like fairly good at KSP, well, you have to be. Why was there a crossfade there? Nothing changed. Oh, I had to cut something out and I just crossfaded anyway. I'm tired and I'm not good at editing. But yeah, so if you're kind of like really good at KSP, or as good as me at KSP, or about that kind of skill level, my kind of skill level, then this is actually a really fun thing to just start doing if you're a little bored of the stock game and want a lot of people install mods to make the game harder. This is the biggest making the game harder mod imaginable. It is just so much fun and pain at the same time. But anyway, now we are at the moon, getting ready to burn and put ourselves in an orbit around the moon and getting ready to land. We will be landing very soon. Yeah, so I just did a video about shuttles and SSTOs. SSTOs on this in Rescaled Kerbin? Impossible. Shuttles? God freaking hell, that'd be near impossible. Well, obviously not near impossible. You'd have to use modular fuels, obviously. God, that'd be difficult. I don't want to even take it on, because I know if I'll take it on, I'll put everything into it, and that'll take so much time. And I've said it. If you don't expect me to make a shuttle in this. Just no. Only NASA can do that, and Russia with their shuttle, the Buran. They may have been the same. I'm not an expert on space shuttles. Anyway, that is us in a fairly good orbit around the moon, but let's fix it up a bit. Wait, did the sun just disappear? I've noticed that when you time warp in map view or really far away from the sun, the sun occasionally just randomly disappears. God, I don't know what I'm doing now. I would assume I'm slowly moving into a position. Yeah. Okay. Didn't cut this down too much. This is usually my process for doing something like this, is gradually time warping up and moving into position very slowly. Because, yeah, if you actually watched me play KSP Unedited, it would be it probably wouldn't be boring. It'd be very crashy, I bet. But it would probably be annoying, because I do so much kind of stop and start time warping and things. But anyway, I think it's time to descend, don't you? So, a quick retrograde burn. A quick retrograde. I mistimed that. Maybe I should have thought about my commentating while editing. Editing me doesn't like me. Although I kind of. I'm just not going to go into that. My commentary's gone to hell. I've started just like saying the wrong things to get out of talking about stuff like that. That made no sense. None of this makes sense. Stop listening to me. I just played SAMP for like 1 billion hours. SAMP, for those of you who don't know, is San Andreas multiplayer. It's a mod, and it's really role-play-y, but it's really fun. And I saw Kevin play it a while ago, and I was like, I have to play this game. And it is the most fun. And although I think my guy's in prison right now because, well, what happened was, this guy was beating me up, and this guy just sold me a shotgun, so I went to my car, got my shotgun out, killed him, and apparently that wasn't roleplay. Even though there was a fight, that's fucking roleplay. Anyway, so then I got put in prison for doing stuff. That was annoying. And then I was like, hey, I should probably make a video. No, I've been trying to make this video for like a week. This is a lot of effort, but it's good, it's fun. But what I have realised is I'm going about 1,660 meters a second, and my delta V reading for my engines is 1,570. Yeah, do the math. Guess what's coming up next? Anyway, we might as well burn anyway, because we might as well try to get down to the moon and extend our antenna to send some kind of science back to the people, back to the Kerbals at Mission Control, because it's starting to look like we're going to lose this, because I packed a little bit too few fuels. Yeah, not too little fuel, too few fuels. But you have to start burning early, because I've put these tiny little engines on it, because, well, you don't need anything else. You don't need any more. But anyway, let's start taking some stuff. Yeah, this isn't career mode. Someone also asked me in the discussion part of my channel, that was actually the first discussion post, I was like, yay, new thing, whether I could do this in career mode. Difficult, but actually, thinking about it, probably a really good way to progress. I am actually going to look into that just as a way of thinking about progressing in launch vehicles, because that could be good. Anyway, probably just took a screenshot there. Now I'm pasting the screenshot into Paint. Sorry, forgot to cut this pause out. I'll just keep talking about career mode. I'm so professional when it's like 1 in the morning. Anyway, yeah, so I was thinking maybe I'd try out career mode just as a way of like progressing gently through the game. I did do a career mode series, like a permadeath, but people stopped watching it, and, you know, if people aren't going to watch it, do what people like, I guess. What the majority of people like, you know. And it's hard to make videos when it gets no views, but, yeah. But it is just, I mean, making a video you enjoy is a lot more fun than making a video you don't enjoy just to get views. But anyway, starting to slow this down a little bit. Trying to think of some way to get fuel or like more delta V, and just, yeah, this is hitting the moon by my calculations is about 150 meters per second. Not my calculations, I know the future. Oh, and there goes another screenshot. I don't think I'm going to use that because I didn't save it. Anyway, so the doomed lunar zebra. Damn it! Starting speaking American English. I always speak in American English, and everyone's like, Peter, why are you speaking in American English? And I'm like, well, there are more people speaking American English, you know. I might be studying in South Korea, and if anyone there speaks English, it'll probably be American English, but I'll definitely learn Korean for that. Yeah, I should study in South Korea. That's cool. That's a story for another day. Right now, we've got to talk about what's going on screen. Not much. Yeah. So, South Korea. Yeah, basically because my grandfather fought in the Korean War. As a sign of gratitude, South Korea will pay for you to go to pay for like the children of veterans to go to university. You could go to university in South Korea, and like really good universities. And I want to do computer science, and South Korea has pretty good computer science and pretty good internet connection. So like in 2 years, you could be getting videos in 1080p or 1440p, because that's the thing now. Although I bet if I went to South Korea as a computing student, I'd be like the dumbass of the class. I mean, come on. Not, oh geez, that sounded awful. Just no, because they're so far ahead in computer technology. And I mean, it's never like they're like, hey, a computer, a British computer whiz. It's always a Russian computer whiz, or a, you know. Anyway, so descent to the moon after maybe being offensive, not really sure. Ba-boom! It looks like everything is gone. The probe is gone, but not the aerial, or the solar panel, or the solar panel, or the solar panel, or the seismic, or the landing leg. Or the engine. We are landing bits on the moon, but not a thing. I'm sorry this was kind of disappointing, but I wasn't going to do this again. But anyway, yeah, you can hear things exploding around me. And I thought I might as well show you failing, because it is difficult to land on the moon. But I can take this into account. I think, there you go, explosion. But that debris is still there. We have landed a landing leg on the moon. Fuck yeah. But yeah, this has taught me that I need to pack more Delta V in the LEM and any other landers / rovers I send in the future. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you're not too pissed off that I kind of didn't stick the landing, let's say. This has been KSP with Tape. I'll see you next time.